Nick and Mud's top 100 games. But does anyone care what they have to say? I know I don't. Cause they may dab, they might scream, they may say some things that are plain wrong. Dab on it, dab on it. But they are dumb bing bongs. My teacher's better.
What's up, Dice Tower? My name is Mike Murphy.
I'm Nick Murphy.
We are the Brothers Murph, and we are continuing down this path of the greatest games of all time, Nick.
Yeah.
The Hall of Famers.
According to us, at least.
The Old Timers. The never can be beat. Better than a stick. What? I don't know. I mean, that's like a famous toy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Sticks.
It's in the Hall of Fame, you know?
It's in the Hall of Fame. That's what I was calling the toy Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
And we're counting down our top 100 games of all time.
That's true.
To these two folks, what games we like. So keep that in mind. These are totally subjective lists. You may agree, you may disagree. Put your thoughts in the comments below on the games we mentioned. But I just want you to know that our thoughts are our own.
Yeah.
We're individual people.
True.
Okay? We're not just one single unit, and we certainly are not beholden to any corporate
No.
greed, no super PACs.
We've proven that over and over again. Yeah.
Over and over with this list. So we're just going to continue on with the free and fair top 100 list, right with number 60 to 51 is what we're doing. I think we ought to start at 60 instead of 51.
That makes sense.
Because if they see the last one, then they're just going to stop watching.
That's true.
Make them wait.
Yeah.
All right. Number 60 is coming up, folks.
Let's do it.
60. Whole new world of possibilities.
So number 60 is brought to you by this sweet Ellis Island mug.
You know when your Uncle Ted goes somewhere and then for Christmas, instead of giving you something you want like money, he gives you a mug from one of his random travels.
That he went on that you weren't invited to. But now you have this sweet reminder of that. Ellis Island mug. And all those responses they have to give of, I love it.
Cool.
Thanks. So my number 60 is a game that I quite like the gimmick of.
Okay.
It is sort of a very fun tactile experience.
Okay.
By the name of Potion Explosion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love this game. We played it first at a convention.
This would be top 30 for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe it ought to be higher. I don't know.
Dude, your list.
Yeah, Potion Explosion is super fun, man. It's
great.
It's a game we played first at a convention, and we just because we'd seen kind of these people playing with like this marble contraption. I'm like, what is that? It looks like Candy Crush or something.
Yeah.
And then we played it and loved it. And I managed to find a used copy that had all the pieces and everything.
I know, it was a sweet grab.
Yeah, for like $30 or something, which was nice. And I at least have the app of it, and I really love the app version. I play it all the time. And so Potion Explosion is just like one of my go-to little games.
Yeah, Potion.
Just make all sorts of explosions happen. And I love the fact that you can combo multiple potions. You're making these potions in it. Then you get to use the potions for these little one-time effects.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's just like, if you get like 8 potions, just like bust them all out in one turn. Who cares?
Yeah.
Go
totally.
crazy.
Totally.
Just make potions.
Yeah, and it's a game where it has a gimmick, but the gimmick is integral to the game. It's not just there, and so
the way that
I love it.
the marbles slide down. You're trying to ultimately collect the right color marbles to fill out they're basically ingredients for your potions. But the way you can you always pull out one on your turn, but then if 2 marbles slide and collide together that are the same color, it causes an explosion. You get to pick up all those marbles.
There you go.
And those will slide together. You pick up all those marbles.
Yeah.
And it's just very satisfying when you create a huge combo. I'll do that all the time, even if I don't need the marbles.
100%.
I
It's
just
just
want to have
satisfying.
80 in my hand. And be like, this is dope.
It's just super satisfying. Absolutely, yeah.
That's my number 60, Potion Explosion.
Cool. My number 60 is a classic, a modern classic, and that is Ticket to Ride.
Oh yeah.
And I'm talking about just Ticket to Ride. Not you had Ticket to Ride Europe on your list, but I've played normal Ticket to Ride, like the U.S. map, more, and I like it better than Europe. One, because I don't really like the train stations in Europe, because I think they're confusing, and they just I like in Ticket to Ride that you can just get blocked out from places. I think it's really fun. I think it's great, and Europe mitigates that a little bit. But mostly, the reason I like Ticket to Ride, the USA map, is because it's just easier for people to wrap their heads around because it's a USA map. The Europe map, which is actually the one we have, none of them are written in English. I mean, they're not written either, but they're written how they're pronounced. So instead
it's you can know to go to that, but it's nice knowing what city it is. Oh man, Nashville.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's just familiar for people. I have a lot more track record with normal Ticket to Ride, and I like it. But I like how simple it is. I love Ticket to Ride. It's not my favorite kind of Ticket to Ride, and it's not yours either. I know that for a fact. But yeah, I do love it, love it, love it. Ticket to Ride is so darn good. It's one of the most popular games out there for a reason. It's just so simple, so accessible. I've never really had it go badly. It's just, it's such a good gateway game. Ticket to Ride, USA map, face.
So what you're saying is you hate Europe.
Yeah, mostly. That's what I'm getting at.
You heard it here, folks. All those European watchers out there.
I heard
doesn't
it
like
here.
you. Doesn't like you. He's glad Brexit happened.
Jeez.
Let's go into 59.
59?
59!
Number 59.
Wait! Don't forget to join the Carpenters Union, everybody.
Yes.
Remember, these 3 things. Measure twice, cut once, pay your dues on time, baby. Unionize. Today.
My number 59 is a game that Mike mentioned last list, I believe. But it is a game that killed Citadels for us. And that is a game called Libertalia.
Yo ho, that game is so much better.
Yes, it sure is. Libertalia is a great kind of Citadels type game, simultaneous role selection where you're given a certain amount of roles and everyone has the same amount of rolls, same 9 rolls, and then the game takes place over 3 general rounds, and each of those rounds has 6 little mini rounds. And each round you're choosing a role, and the roles have different ranks. And the ranks they have, if it's a higher rank, they go first in the order of usually getting to choose stuff and get to do stuff, and all of them have little powers. But everyone starts with the same 9, but you only use 6. And then whatever the 6 you use, they all get discarded. But then you have 3 left over. But not everyone has the same 3 left over because it's all simultaneous selection. Yep. Then you get 6 more rolls that, again, everyone has the same 6 rolls. But now you have same 6 and then 3 that are different. And then you do the whole thing again. And it's just this great simultaneous selection game where it's just trying to play the players and trying to figure out when people are is he gonna play the butcher the same time I'm gonna play the butcher, or like or can I do this and manipulate this, and it's just so much fun. It's super light. The art is beautiful. We talked about it last time. Libertalia is great. Get rid of Citadels, throw it in the trash. Get Libertalia.
Get rid of it.
It's better in every possible humanly way. I love it.
So fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Libertalia theme. The art is wowzers.
Very good. Very pretty art.
Libertalia, man.
Libertalia is great. My number 59, I love it. Love it a lot.
My number 59 is an awesome game that has some of the best simple iconography that you could possibly imagine in a very beautiful game that has table presence out the wazoo. Blue-orange game called Photosynthesis.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
It's a game all about being trees.
I love it.
It's amazing.
I love weird themes.
You get to be a tree.
You get to be a tree.
Or several trees. You're kind of trying to take over a forest.
You're a tree family, yeah.
And you're trying to ultimately collect light.
Yeah.
To be able to score points and stuff. So you want to be able to spread your seeds far and wide and grow trees that are bigger than the other ones so they happen to absorb light, block other people out. It's this area control type of game that is really super cool because it uses this sun mechanism. There's this, basically the sun is traveling around the board and it's pointing in different directions. And so if your tree is the first thing in line, it's catching the light. And if you are a little tree, just a little tree, you're going to cast a little bit of a shadow.
Yep.
And if there's something that's in that little bit of a shadow, it's not going to get light. It's not going to get light points. If you're a bigger tree, you cast a bigger shadow. If you're a small tree, but there's a bigger tree behind it, it's still catching some light, so you still get points. So there's all these like super cool easy ways to try to like get light to ultimately use that light, that energy to build more trees and to ultimately score points, hopefully in the middle of the forest where the soil is more rich. It's so cool, the idea, because it is how it works in the forest. Like bigger trees catch the light first and they do better. Smaller trees that are underfoot of the big trees struggle more. And then they become like carnivorous and weird, right? And it's just like so cool, the idea of like the way that the shadows work and everything like that. And it's just really simple. If you're a small tree, you get 1 light. You cast a shadow that's 1 space away. If you build a seed from that, you can put a seed that's 1 space away. If you're a medium tree, you get 2 light. It casts a shadow that's 2 spaces long. You can put seeds 2 spaces away.
It is one of the best games at that.
So straightforward and simple.
And
it's very easy on a little player board that reminds you how much stuff costs to
best
upgrade
player
it.
board in the game, in my opinion.
Easy to understand. And then like it's just cool. Like the light is pointing this way and you just look down this line. It's just really rad. And it's this interesting game that can kind of be cutthroat. And it's all about trees. I mean, just like
it's great.
Unique theme, interesting, mechanics and stuff. great iconography, beautiful presence. Like photosynthesis is just cool, man.
Primo.
Super cool, and it's a good game on top of it. Photosynthesis is my 59, and I love it.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, cool. 59, and move on to 58.
Let's do it.
Trees.
50.
58. Mike, tell us your 58. I am so anxious to know.
So my 58 is kind of piggybacking a little bit off of my 59 photosynthesis. It's about nature and science. This is a game that has some of the best art I've ever seen. And it's all about being adaptable, baby. You got to stay alive. You want to eat. You need to have traits in order to do that. It's evolution.
Oh yeah.
Specifically evolution climate.
Yes.
Which is just, to me, it's just what evolution is.
Yeah.
From now on. Evolution is such a cool game that you're basically creating species. And you start off as a species with no real trait. You can kind of eat a little bit. You don't have a big population. Yeah. But then from there, you can start customizing what kind of creature you're creating. You can give it horns if you want to be like, hey, if you're going to eat one of my members, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
I'm going to stab you.
I'm going to stab you.
You can become a climber, so then you can't be eaten at all unless you have a predator that can also climb.
Yeah.
You can do things that help species to your right and your left. You can discard cards to increase your population. You can increase your body size, which makes it harder for you to be eaten or makes it easier for you to eat stuff if you are a predator. It's just such an interesting, cool game to try to figure out like these species that are going to be the best able to survive. And you get points by eating a bunch. You get tiles. There's all these eating rounds where you're just eating from the kind of watering hole in the center. And at the end of the game, the person who ate the most is the winner. Yeah. I mean, that's reality. It's like what can eat is what survives.
Yeah.
In photosynthesis, what gets the light, that's what they eat. They survive. Mm-hmm. If you're an animal, if you can eat, you survive.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun, so interesting, so scientifically based. And the art is just like this watercolor, just
gorgeous
orgy of color, man. And it's just... I wish we lived in a world that looked like that.
Oh, I know, right?
Where bison and stuff were just like multi-technicolor.
I know they are. Like they're so pretty. Like everything is like makes no sense in terms of the actual color in the game. But it
also like it totally works. Because I'm like, okay, say it's an alternate world where it is just more colorful and stuff, but it like still makes me. I still believe it all. Like as you're playing, I'm like, yeah, this is like seems like a very realistic game that's just like eye candy, man.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
No, and it's just another game that's really simple. It's like if you want to increase your population, discard a card. You want to increase your body size, discard a card. You want to create a new species, discard a card. You want to give a trait, put that card on that species. Like it's very simple.
I would say it's not quite Gateway, but it's like a hair above. I mean, it really is pretty darn simple.
Yeah, and it's just beautiful. The climate addition to the game, which now I think if you just buy it, it's pretty much climate.
No,
right?
I think you can still buy normal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either way, it's nice because it adds just kind of nature elements. Like sometimes you can make it get warmer, which maybe it's cool because now more food grows. Yeah. But also if it gets too hot, like forest fires break out. You know what I mean? Or if it gets too cold, it makes it harder to survive.
Yeah.
So it's just like a nice element that may or may not be a big part of the game. But it doesn't like add complexity necessarily.
It's super necessary.
Anyway, on and on I go. We just replayed it recently, which is why I'm like so fired up. But like Evolution is just...
It's great.
It's great.
It's great.
Anyway. Enough of that.
My number 58. 58. My number 58 is it's a roll and write, although you're not rolling anything in it, but it's become one of my favorite roll and writes, and that is a game called Welcome 2.
Ooh.
Welcome 2 is a game we play all the time. We play it on stream. Yeah. We play it. It's such a great game because it's one of those roll and writes where literally an infinite amount of people can play at the same time. Because as long as you have one of those sheets, everyone is drawing off the same card. So essentially, you're building out a suburb. And the suburb, you need to put addresses on these different streets. You have 3 different streets.
People like numbered houses.
And you're putting addresses. You have to put them in ascending order. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 9, 12, 15, like that. And you're just trying to fill out a suburb. And each turn, there's 3 cards that are put out. Those 3 cards have a number between 1 and 15. And then they have an ability attached to them. And the different abilities may be putting a pool behind your house, or building a park on that street, or all these different things that give you different points and allow you to manipulate your neighborhood in different ways. But it's so fun, and it's excruciating, especially later in the game where you start needing really specific numbers, because you have 3 numbers, 3 abilities, and then once everyone chooses one of those pairs, Once everyone's done, then we take the numbers, flip them over. On the back side is the abilities, and then boom, and now we have 3 more numbers with abilities.
Yeah.
And then we just keep going, and you keep going until the game ends.
It's to the point where you're just hoping for that one number.
Oh my! You need a 6 park so badly.
Yeah.
And it's just, it gets really, really tough, and it's just so much fun. I really am digging the kind of roll and write genre as a whole.
Yeah.
And this one is way up there. I love Welcome to. We played a ton. And we played on stream. It's super fun. I just love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Welcome to is a great game, and that is my number 58.
Good call.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's do 57 now.
57.
Yeah.
What's we say?
We're so weird.
57.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It was great in the 80s, great in the 90s, the cartoon.
What's those?
The old movies. A little bit dicey there during the Michael Bay days. But then the Nickelodeon shows, great, I hear. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. TMNT.
They never die.
They never die. Put in the comments below your favorite turtle, all right? I know definitely when I was young, we all just chose because of the color we liked.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm Leonardo all the way. Now I'm like, dude, I'm Michelangelo all the way.
I'm still Donatello.
You're still Donatello.
Been Donatello since a kid. Love
You're
Donatello.
funny and smart.
Yeah.
All right. But
Love
put
it.
in your favorite turtle down below. Which one do you identify with? Which is your spirit turtle? Put it down there. Pow. What is it? 57, dude?
Let's go on to
What
57.
do you got?
57. My 57 is a game that I would have put money. This would have been higher on your list, but it wasn't. And this is a game called Raptor.
Oh.
Raptor is my number 57. I really like Raptor a lot. Raptor is one of those games that, like, I'm finally starting to get over this, but I feel like we all have this, where it's like a game where you're like, I don't feel like I like that game very much. And then every time you play it, you're like, man, I love this game. But then like a week goes by and you're like, I don't really like that game.
I think I like that game.
And it's just like one of those things where, and like, I've finally been like, no, I really like this game. But for some reason, I think it's because like, I always think that like I'm not good, or that I always think that I don't like abstract strategy games, and that's ultimately what Raptor is.
Yeah.
And I always think that I don't like them, and then I play them. I'm like, oh no, I like abstract strategy games. But for some reason in my head, I'm always like, no, I don't like abstract strategy games.
Yeah.
Because I don't like chess. You know,
Yeah.
and it's like that's kind of like the original ultimate abstract strategy game. But I do love Raptor, and Raptor is a game where it's a 2-player only game, very asymmetric game, where one player is playing the raptors, a mama raptor and her 5 babies, and they're trying to escape. And the other side is playing the scientists who are trying to capture the baby raptors for science stuff. And so the two sides play super differently, and you're essentially the scientists are trying to capture 3 baby raptors, and the mama is trying to get 3 baby raptors to escape. So, and you just do that in totally different ways. It's simultaneous card selection. And we talked about it in a couple lists ago, but it's just such a good game. It's Bruno Catala, Bruno Catutu, you know, our jam, our boy. I know, I love Bruno Catala is the greatest. Yes. But so, I do love Raptor, and it's such an interesting, stressful game, because especially like as we said last time, we've only ever played one side. Like I've only ever played the Raptors. He's only ever played the scientists. And I get legitimately angry during this game because I get like, don't come after my babies. I get like, when I lose this game, I get salty. And not just like because I lost, because I feel bad that like I let my babies get captured. It's rough. It's a rough game, but I love it. It's so good. And it goes to show again, kind of like, well, we'll be on this soapbox forever, but like, abstract strategy games should look good. Raptor looks dope. It's got little minis. Cool. It's on a cool board. It's kind of 3D like. It's awesome. I love it. Keep doing that.
Bow. Nice, dude. My number 57 is a game we recently played. It was kind of on our shelf of, not shelf of shame, but like,
shelf of opportunity.
Hey man, like, there's all these games you love that you haven't played in quite some time. Like, you haven't played all year, probably. You need to fix that.
We're all about that hotness, Mike. That's what we're about. We're all about
it's hard not to get wrapped up in it, man.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really
hard. You go to a
hard.
convention, you get a game hall, and you're like, I'm just playing these from now on. The other games are like, dude, like 2 months ago, you were all about it.
Yeah.
So my number 57 is Small World.
Oh, okay.
It's a great area control game that is just so fun.
Just played this, yeah.
I know, we just played. Yeah, I'm all high upon it again.
Small World.
You play things you remember. It's like, oh yeah, that's why we own this. I like this game. I forgot.
Right.
Small World is an area control game where you're various fantastical beings.
Yep.
That all have an attribute, and these are randomly generated. So you're gonna have like a wealthy wizard, or flying a stout
orcs.
halfling, or a flying orc. Yeah, you know, or
stout halfling makes sense. There's
like a berserker skeleton. and all these different combinations of creatures that have their own thing that helps them score more that they can do paired with an ability. And it's just all about like trying to get these combos, these races and using them to cover as much of the board as you can to score points. You score points for every space that you control. Yeah. And then oftentimes you get bonuses, like farmers or humans want to be on farmland and they get bonus points for farmland, right? But there's going to be a point where you can only spread out so far.
You only got so many people, man.
You got so many people. And eventually you're going to have to go and decline.
Yeah.
And basically you flip over all the tiles, but they remain on the board, but you only get one of each. They're kind of weak and just sort of like there still. And then you get a new race on your next turn, and you get to repopulate the world. So for a while, you kind of have two races going, even if one's just kind of sitting there waiting to be wiped off this earth. And it's just really fun, just trying to like figure out when should I go in decline, how best to spread out my units, how best to exploit my little ability that I have. You know, when to make changes and things like that. And it's awesome at all player counts because every player count comes with its own board. Yep. So a 2-player game is going to be just as tight and contentious as a 5-player game, you know, given the amount of space. So it's just genius in terms of scale.
Every area control game needs to do that.
Like, it does.
Or have some way to scale the board.
Exactly.
You know?
Most good ones do. They have a mechanism to like keep it tight. But Small World, I think, is still probably the one I've seen do it the best.
Yeah, it's just so good.
Because it's just unique, beautiful boards.
Yeah.
At any player count, you win. And so, yeah, Small World's my 57.
And Small World's great. We have the River World expansion, but that's new boards. It's not any new races or abilities. We still have no expansions for this game.
Yeah.
And there's tons more races and tons more ability, and we don't have any of them. Like,
and I still really love it.
And I still love it that much,
you know? Because the combinations might always be different.
Oh, they're always different,
You might encounter, you know, a new combination of something you've seen a billion times before, and you're like, oh, well, now I've never played it with like this. Let's try that out, you know?
Totally.
Anyway, that's my 57 Small World.
Love
and we need to get some expansions because then it's going to breathe even more new life into a classic at this point. That's not my 57. Let's do 56.
56.
So what'd you do last night?
Oh man, I saved someone's life, dude.
Are you serious?
Yeah, dude, I did it with gauze, man. Like, gauze is super overlooked, but like I had my gauze with me as always. You know, I always have my gauze. And like I was this guy, we were at a party and he was bleeding out, and so I got my gauze and I like helped out and stuff. It was great.
Dude, and so like the guy lived and everything? He's like, cool.
Oh no, he died. I had saved someone else. But the point is I had gauze and like it helped, you know, but he died. Yeah, he died.
What was the gauze of death?
The gauze of death was he choked to death.
Bummer.
Yeah.
But so you wrapped him in gauze even though he was choking?
Okay, the point is I had gauze and I need you to stop asking questions.
Okay. So my number 26 is a 2-player game, much like Raptor for You was a 2-player game, still is a 2-player game. It's a 2-player little card game that we bring just about everywhere we go because it doesn't take up a ton of space, doesn't require a lot, and there's a lot of intrigue and stress, and it is Hanamakoji.
Oh, really?
Hanamakoji, man, yeah.
What? Your list is...
It's in the mid-50s.
No sense. I figured this would be in your top 20. You love this game.
I do. Man, I love all of these games.
I didn't know you hated board games. That is...
I hate card games. I love board games.
Different. God, wow, that's... I just figured to be higher. That's cool. Go give it.
I mean, it's about as mid as you can get, man. Anyway,
yeah, you know,
Hanamakoji is a great 2-player game where you are trying to enlist the services of various geisha. You want them to come to your restaurants. You want them to be entertainers, play music, read poetry, things like that. Yeah, stuff like that. Make tea. Just some random geisha. Playing that for 4 hours.
She's just like in jeans, jean jacket, jean shirt, and jeans. Like, never gonna give you up. They're just like, they're like, is this the level 2 geisha? Can we get the level 4? Because she's not that great.
She's not that great. Yeah, so you're trying to get the right geisha. You want to get powerful geisha. Or a bunch of them. You want quality or quantity.
Exactly. That's the best part.
And it's really cool. So you have basically 4 actions in a round. Every round you're going to draw a card.
Yeah.
And then you're going to do one of your 4 actions. One is you can pocket a card as a secret thing. You can just burn 2 cards, discard them. You can do an I split, you choose situation with 2 pairs of cards. So you split them how you want them, but your opponent gets the first set. So hopefully you give them stuff that's not important to you, and you get to keep what's important to you. And there's one where you present 3 cards, they get 1, you get the other 2. And so at the end of the round, you look at the 7 different geisha, and if you have more cards of that color and number, you slide the influence over to your side and back and forth. And the first person with either 4 or 11 points worth of geisha, having the more valuable ones, wins the game. So it's a really tight just heavy strategy. It rips you up on the inside. It's excruciating in a game that plays like 1 or 2 rounds at the max usually. Maybe it played like a 3 or 4 round.
I've gone
game.
4 rounds once, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Yeah,
because it gets every round. Because if no one wins, you play again. Yeah. But like the influence stays where it is.
So then you try to protect what you have, or you try to steal what they have.
And it's like, and so like each time you go after the first round, the stress just elevates so much. It's the worst.
It's tough,
but it's also great.
But it's great. This game is gonna be one that we play a lot. This might be higher on my list because I've been playing it more recently lately. But my 56 is,
Oh, interesting.
No, it'll be higher. It might be appropriately high to you at some point, but for now it's 56. Okay. Hanama Koji.
Cool. All right, my number 56 is what we're on. My number 56 is a game where you will need a bunch of gauze. Actually, no, you won't. You won't need gauze because in this game you are trying to kill people. It is one of my favorite themes ever, and this game is the Bloody Inn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Murder, exactly.
Yeah, murder.
The Bloody Inn is a really weird game that I'm so enamored. Like, we don't play this game very much. And, like, I understand that it's not the best game ever, but, like, for some reason, I'm so enamored with this game. I love it. But the Bloody Inn is a game where all the players, run an inn in, like, France or somewhere.
Wherever you
it's France, because you have francs in the game. Yeah. So, in France, it's like that. And then you collectively, as a family, realize, like, we can make more money by killing our guests than by having them stay in our inn. That's interesting. So throughout the game, guests are constantly coming into the inn. Some of them stay and then leave, no problem. But then you decide to kill some of them, and then you have to bury them underneath like your inn. So throughout the game, you're getting different cards. So it's interesting because each card has multi-use. So like this guy's like the carpenter. And then, so there's the carpenter, and that's what he's worth. But on the bottom half of this card is like a building that he could be turned into, essentially. So I can recruit him and turn him into a building, and now, it's like the shed. And there's a certain amount of bodies that can be housed under each thing. Yeah. So like the garden can hold like 1 body, but like, I don't know, the ballroom can hold like 3 because it's really big. And so it's interesting, and there's different ranks of people. There's people that are more expensive. There are people that are less expensive. There's like peasants that you can kill, but I don't because I always feel super bad because they always look really sad. But essentially, also on top of that is you can recruit people to be on your side. So like, I'm like, oh, here's this bishop. I'm gonna recruit the bishop to be on my side, and now he's gonna help me commit these atrocious crimes. And it's a really weird theme, but ultimately it's a big balancing game because when on your turn, you get to do like an action, and then like, but when you decide to take out a guest, that guest is just a body, and it's not buried yet. It's not
on the floor.
It's not immediately buried yet. And throughout the game, there's cops, policemen who are coming into the inn, and you got to make sure all your bodies are underneath stuff before the cops see them and stuff. So it's this weird balance of like trying to balance like how much can I get away with before like it's becoming an issue, but then also on top of that you can mess with people because like you can decide to bury a body underneath someone else's plot of land, but you have to give them half the money for it. So I'm like, so if Mike has 1 spot and he has a body, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bury this here. He has no choice. I have to give him half the money, but all of a sudden, boom, that spot's done now. And then Mike also has a body, and then
now I gotta bribe a cop.
And then the cop rolls through. He's like, who's that?
What's going on here?
It's a really weird game, a super weird theme that I absolutely love. I love it so much. The Bloody Inn's great. I love it, love it, love it. Always will love it.
Good call, dude.
Yeah.
Boom.
That's my number 56. Is my number 55?
55. Stay alive.
55.
What you drinking?
Gas station coffee.
Gas station cappuccinos, huh?
Gas station cappuccinos. I don't know what's in these powders, but you know what? Whatever it is comes out hot and has some flavor or other.
Piping hot.
Yeah. Go to Mocha Cappuccino Latte. I don't know if they taste different, but it's
same machine, every gas station across the nation. You got it. Gas station cappuccinos. Get yours today.
Why go to Starbucks when you can get this for about the same price?
My number 55 is a game. I am not a. I haven't looked. My guess is it's the highest social deduction game on my list. I am not a big fan of social deduction games as a whole. They stress me out a little bit. I don't. I as time has gone by, I have liked them less and less and less and less and less and less and less to the point where now I'm like, for the most part, I'm like, I don't want to play it. I refuse to. I don't like to play them. This is one social deduction game that I like. And it's because I like when you're the trader, you have information to go off of. And this is a game called Werewords or Insider. They're ultimately the same game. Werewords is a game where it's 20 questions with a trader. No. So there's one person who's the mayor, and that person picks a word, and the word is like banana. And then it's 20 questions. Everyone else has to ask yes or no questions to try and get to banana. But there's a trader amongst your mix. There's a werewolf. So as everyone's closed their eyes, the mayor picks the word, everything like that. And then Eric Summer from the Dice Tower goes, "Werewolf, open your eyes." And the werewolf opens her eyes, and the werewolf gets to see the word. He goes, "Oh, it's banana. Okay, cool." And then the werewolf closes her eyes and goes, "Seer, open your eyes." And then the seer opens their eyes and sees, okay, it's banana. Cool. And the seer is on the team of the villagers, most team. And then the werewolf is on their own. And then you have the mayor who is just essentially playing the yes-no person. And then
who may also be the werewolf.
Yes, may also be the werewolf. So it's ultimately just 20 questions. So you're asking the question like, is it a food? And then they put, yes. Is it a person? No, I just said it was a food. All kind of stuff. But the seer, what the seer is doing, because the seer knows the word, the seer is trying to guide the group towards the word. Yeah. With like kind of pointed questions like,
being obvious.
Is it yellow? That kind of stuff. And then the werewolf is trying to derail the group away from it. So they try to ask questions that try to make it, oh gosh. And so then at the end of the game, if the werewolf wins, like they didn't get the answer, then the whole team has a chance to try and vote who they think the werewolf is. Great. And if they get it right, then the villagers win. And then same is true. If the villagers win, the werewolf gets one chance to try and guess who the seer was. Like, who do I think was the person really guiding this whole thing?
Yeah.
And it's just great because as the werewolf, you have something to go off of. You know the word, and it's easy to stay kind of under the radar because you can just ask kind of offhanded questions that are like not really relevant, but not really like,
they don't raise suspicion.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's, at least for me to enjoy a social deduction game, a lot of them, it comes down to like, how good are you at lying?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you want to play werewolf? How good are you at lying? That's what ultimately comes down to. And I don't like those kinds of games because they stress people out. They stress me out. But this one, it's like, oh, I have something to go off of and I really love it. Werewords is amazing. Get it today. It's lovely. I love it.
Right. Now, my number 55 is another two-player game. It's not a social deduction game. That'd be odd in a two-player game. If they could pull it off, that would be cool. It's a trick-taking game that you've talked about before called Fox in the Forest.
Yeah, that checks out.
I like trick-taking games. Nick's, tries to say he's not a fan of trick-taking games, but I think you're realizing you just need the right trick-taking game.
I understand I'm not a fan. I'm just not good at them.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Right. I like them. I think I am good at them. You are generally-ish. I mean, I'm okay. I like trick-taking games a lot. Fox in the Forest is cool because it is built for 2 players, and that's really interesting. That's different. A lot of them are kind of really best at 4 players. Especially because they're kind of modeling after Hearts and Spades and things like that, which I like. I like the fact that in this you get 3 suits, and you have a couple little powers and stuff where all the odd numbered cards have a little power in addition to just being whatever number they are.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to win the hands and stuff. But I love the fact that like you want to win most, but not all.
Yeah.
And so there's this whole thing of like I love trying to go. If you go 0 to 3, you're humble and you get 6 points. And so
the
it's
opposite
like
shoot the moon. Yeah,
it's the opposite shoot the moon and stuff. So it's fun to play where it's like I'm gonna try to force this person to win all the hands, and like meanwhile Nick over here is getting excited because he's trying to win a bunch of hands because he has pretty good cards, and then he realized at one point like, oh, I need to stop right now.
Yeah, I need to stop winning. Yeah,
and then I'm just like, well, I've hopefully set myself up, or you then try to like revert your tactics to be like, I want to make sure this guy gets just 4, because if he gets 4 wins, he gets like nothing. He gets like one point. Who cares? And I get all the points, So it's just this fun idea of like you want to either crush but not too bad, or you want to be real low profile. The worst thing possible is just be kind of in the middle.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's just awesome, cool little art and stuff. It's compact. It's just a nice little deck of cards essentially, and a couple of scoring tokens. You can use your phone or whatever if you want to keep track of score that way. So it's very small. It travels well, and it's great for 2-player trick-taking game. Fox in the Forest is my number 55.
It's great. Alrighty, cool. Number 55. We want number 54.
Let's get at it.
54. Oh gosh.
All right, so number 54. I'm right in a two-player power block right now.
Okay.
It's all two-player games. This is a two-player variant of another game, a drafting game. And this one I think is probably, I like to play it this way better. It's Seven Wonders Duel.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
You seem like, do I like this? You seem very unsure about whether or not this game should be this high.
Oh no, I love where it's ranked.
Okay,
sure.
cool.
No, I love this game.
Okay, cool.
It's just funny how like all the two-player games are like
they're all boom, 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 boom. Yeah, no, Seven Wonders Duel is great. Yeah, totally.
Seven Wonders Duel rips.
Yeah.
It's a two-player version of Seven Wonders, which uses similar cards and tactics. Ultimately, you have like military might. You're building resources. You're getting wonders. And science and stuff, but it builds like these like little pyramid of cards, almost like the whatever Spider Solitaire, whatever you had to do.
Yeah, whatever. Thing. Yeah.
And you reveal cards, which then become available to you if you have the right resources to purchase those things. If you have like brick and stone and whatnot, and wood, and it's just a really fun, tough game. Where like I won, I think the first game we ever played of it, and then went on a string for like a year where I lost. And now
it's like 50-50 again, but yeah.
It's kind of like 50-50, but yeah, it's just this weird thing of like, I was like, I'm going to be great at this game. Like, no, you're not. Not for a long time, you won't. But it's just his really fun version. We played Seven Wonders Duel. I played it for a long time before I ever played Seven Wonders.
Yeah, we played Seven Wonders the first time this summer, right?
Yeah,
I had played it once before, but yeah.
And it's like a cool drafting game that I really quite like. But Seven Wonders Duel is just like so fun, so interesting. The way that you try to...
Q22.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Dude, I always forget how
Bruno
many...
Catala, best. After
Bruno
this
Catala's
list is over, I'm going to go through and look at how many Bruno Catala games I have. I bet it's a
Bruno
bunch.
Catala, the man. Yeah, so there you go. That's all I need to say. Bruno Catala.
Yeah.
And just the way that you reveal cards and hopefully acquire these cards for your own thing while hoping to deny the other player free shots at cards is awesome. I just love it.
Yeah.
Just love it.
It's great.
Boom. Seven Wonders Duel. What's your 54, Nick?
My 54 is a game that we actually... I'm curious of... I'm going to look at the list afterwards. I'm curious what it is for you, too. It's like, what's the highest ranked game that you don't own? My hunch is this is not it. But we don't own this game, is what I was going to say.
Okay.
And this is a game where I feel like you're going to need insurance if you had this. Because, let's be honest, getting a car wreck is rough. You know,
it's not the funnest.
You know, your house gets decimated by a volcano. Real tough. But you know what the worst thing for an insurance company is? Bear attacks. Bear attacks. And that's why you need to get Fidelity Insurance for bear insurance. They have the best bear insurance around.
It's true.
Best bear insurance around by Fidelity Insurance. Pick up your insurance today. Make sure you protect yourself from bears, especially if you were going to open a bear park.
You don't... Right. Right.
If you're going to open a Baron Park, because Baron Park is my number 55. That's all right. 54?
54, man.
I went around like this to get to that one.
No, that was very well done. I had no idea where you were.
Baron Park is my number 54. I love Baron Park. We actually don't own it, but it's one of those games where I got to get this game. I got to get this game. Phil Walker Harding is becoming one of my favorite, like, kind of like gateway light level games because we just played Gizmos.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we played, I think, after our list, so it's not on there, but it probably would be. I love Gizmos. Another Phil Walker Harding. But this to me is like patchwork. You have these polyomino tiles, and you're essentially making a bear park. So it's all different kinds of bears, like koala bears and polar bears, and
different
bears.
Enclosures and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and you are building out this park, and you're putting these enclosures in there, and trying to surround certain things to essentially get more boards to be able to get different tiles and stuff. And it's just this really light version of something like a patchwork or cottage garden, but with a way better theme and just way more streamlined and fun, in my opinion. Like, I've never been a big fan of like cottage garden and stuff.
It doesn't overcomplicate itself.
No, not at all. It's just, it's fun, it's smooth, and I absolutely adore it. And it's a game that we've just like never really come across in like a game store, and I think that's the only reason why we don't have it. I feel like if we did, we'd be like, oh, we should get this.
I assume we would. I've never seen it like in person.
No, I haven't either. And so it's like, someday I'm sure we'll get it because it's a great little kind of like gateway level, maybe a hair above, but ultimately like such a great game. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Baron Park is my number 54. I just adore it.
Good call. Let's get up into 53 now.
Oh, I'd say it's about 53.
All right, number 53 is a game that I guess I probably shouldn't have given. I didn't look at my list. I shouldn't have given you so much crap a couple of minutes ago because my number 53 is Hanmakoji.
Oh.
Sorry.
Hey, Nick.
I just figured it'd be
Why
higher.
board games, Nick?
I figured it'd be higher. I guess on
I was
both of our
hoping
lists.
that like literally your next one was going to be Hanmakoji. It's almost that close.
It's pretty close. Hanmakoji, we talked about it a couple minutes ago. It's great.
Nothing wrong with the middle, man.
No, it's nothing wrong. I just thought I liked board games more. And so it's a great game though. It's
what I'm getting is that you hate playing games with me specifically.
That's what
it's a 2-player game, and that's why it's not very highly ranked.
That's why I hate
Raptors come and gone already too. I see how it is, Nick.
I love Hanmakoji. It is the most excruciating game just because of the fact that, one, you have a hand of cards, and you constantly have to give your opponent cards. 2 of the actions you have to do are giving your opponent cards, and you may be giving them exactly what they want.
Yeah, because you don't know all the cards that they have.
You don't. And there's also one card that's burned out in the beginning of the game, so you don't have complete information. And it's wonderful. I'm not going to go into it again. My number 53 is Hanmakoji. It's amazing. It's cheap. It's small. It's amazing. Go get it. If you like 2-player games, it's wonderful.
My number 53 is Flatline.
I was like, what? I thought you was like, I was like, am I dropping
This list is dead in the water, man. We can't recover.
I was like, man, I'm sorry that my went so poorly.
Your commentating was terrible. No, 53 is Flatline for me, man.
Okay, that's
Flatline.
fair.
It's a dice chucking cooperative game that has real-time elements where you're trying to save people's life. It is a sequel to Fuse, another dice chucking real-time game where you're working together to save people or to defuse a bomb. So Flatline takes place just seconds after the bomb went off in Fuse. I see you want to laugh. What's up?
No, it's just I forgot to change shirts. So we're still this number is also sponsored by Fidelity Insurance.
What happens on Flatline when the doctors let you down? Flatline.
One of those bears mauled the people. We forgot to change shirts. Keep going. We're not cutting this out.
These bits work. Okay, so Fuse is a game we're trying to defuse bombs. In 10 minutes, you got to roll dice to get the right allocation of things to defuse bombs. Flatline just assumes, rightly, that you failed and the bomb went off. The bomb blew up and it blew up your whole space station. And now you got a bunch of people come to the med hut. And now you're trying to roll dice to basically cure patients. And so it's really fun because it has like the chaos that Fuse has, but it's broken down into 1-minute chunks.
Yes.
So it's like we can talk, prepare, roll dice, try to allocate talking. No, put it over here because we can complete this one strip because there's all these different strips on a person that have to be dealt with kind of one at a time.
Yeah.
And so you have to communicate in real time, but then after the minute you get to debrief, talk about. So I feel like it promotes more discussion.
Yeah.
It's more of a true cooperative game in terms of like strategy. Whereas Fuse, which is awesome, is just like move. Just you gotta move. You gotta move as fast as you can. So Flatline's a really fun game that we really enjoy, and it's very difficult, like a good co-op ought to be. And just can't speak more highly of it, man. I love the real-time elements. I love that it's broken down. The game is easy to understand. The dice and stuff are all independent kind of symbols, excuse me, in addition to color. So it helps with color.
Colorblind. It's very colorblind
friendly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just kind of, it's just a cool, fun game that has always kind of gone over well when we played it. So yeah, that's my number 53, Flatline.
Cool.
Change your shirt. Or don't.
Number 52. Let's do it.
We'll see what shirt he's wearing.
52.
Oh man, congrats to Bill Clinton for getting elected president.
Dude, the 90s are great, man. Gosh.
Hey man, I just got this new game called Pogs. You want to try it?
What?
Do you have time to take a break from watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Home Improvement though?
Oh, dude, but I'm about to watch Rugrats though. But I can probably
What
stop.
about X-Men, man?
Right? Okay, but I can probably stop them. Let me take out my moon boots and get rid of my yo-yo real quick.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
All right, man. So check it out. I got the Ultra Poison Slammer. Are you ready? I'm going to do my Ultra Poison Slammer drop.
Do it.
Ready?
Yeah! How do we play this?
Pogs are lame. But I guess we got to keep playing because Pogs are going to be popular forever.
That's right, they are.
What are we going to do? You want to skip it?
Yeah!
Dude, the 90s are crazy.
They were insane.
I love those things.
Gosh.
Pogs for life. All right, folks, let's get to number 52. Speaking of the 90s, you know what? The 90s was an age ago. It's a million years ago. You know what else was a million years ago? Stone Age. Look at that right there.
Okay, good. I was like, I figured this one's higher on your list. Okay, yeah.
Hell yeah, man.
You love it.
Okay, so I went off, right? When Nick was talking about it, I was talking about how much I freaking love the theme and how, like, thematically it makes sense. And I trip out on it all the time. You go to the Love Hut and there's all of a sudden a new worker. We all know how that happens, all right? It's how we all got here. But then the whole idea that at the beginning of the game, you just are trying to eat. You have to survive before you make anything. And then once you kind of do that, you get your agriculture going. Now food isn't so much of an issue. So let's start like trying to get precious materials to build structures and stuff like that. I love the fact that it's a dice rolling game. So dice can not work out in your favor if you're rolling them and your name is Michael E. Murphy.
It's true.
SAG after eligible. So one thing you can do is you can develop tools that basically you can tap, which will increase your dice rolls, which makes sense. If you have better tools, you're better at cutting down trees in the forest. You're better at like making bricks and whatnot. So it's just everything about the game thematically ties back into like what life would have been like in that time. But it's ultimately kind of a light-ish worker placement dice rolling game. Yeah. I just love that about it, how it's deeply thematic in its ways. And on the surface, you might not ever think about it. So just, I can't remember. There's at one point we were playing, all of a sudden we're kind of like, whoa! Like, think about everything in this game.
It's super thematic,
And it's just so cool. It's a great one that we like to play if we're kind of introducing the idea of worker placement to people. Can't speak highly enough about Stone Age. It's my number 52. I love that game.
Yeah. Cool. My number 52 is a game that was mentioned in this list already with Mikey, and that is a game called Potion Explosion.
Yes!
Potion Explosion is a great game. Again, it's the epitome of you can have a gimmick in your game. You can have it, but your gimmick needs to make sense. Because I love gimmicks in games if they make sense. I hate gimmicks in games if they're just there, for the most part. And so I love the fact that the Candy Crush element of it. Again, I'm not going to repeat a whole bunch of different stuff because there's no point. But I love Potion Explosion.
I said it better?
Yeah, pretty much. But it's great. It's so fun to introduce to people because it's pretty simple. It's ultimately like a pretty gateway level game, and it's just delightful. I love Potion Explosion. I love everything.
It's a delight.
It's great. If you haven't tried it, give it a shot. If you want to try it, also get the app. The app is also really, really great, which Mike mentioned, but the app is really, really great. But yeah, Potion Explosion is my number 52. It's wonderful.
Boom. Let's get into 51, man. Let's get this list out.
Yeah. 51. All right, so this is the last one of this list, and we want to give a little bit of information, kind of like, let you into our lives a little bit. Yeah. And people a lot of times ask, like, oh, you guys are brothers, like, how far are you apart? And it seems like we're pretty close together, but we're actually 40 years apart. People don't realize that. I'm 28. Yeah. He's actually 68.
Right.
And he looks great. Like, you got great skin.
Starting to show a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of gray, but that's not bad. You look distinguished and stuff. So you look great for 68, man. How are you doing it? Like,
well, I use the U theory method.
Oh.
All right. But basically, I think it's mostly just wearing this hat that says U theory, and it says age beautifully. And I think it's a reminder for my brain to make sure that it aged beautifully.
Do you think it like blocks the sun, and that's why this spot is so good?
It's a UV ray type situation, and I think it's just like good energy going into the brain.
It's a good chi,
and there's like maybe the tiny little massagers and follicles and things like that. It just reminds you that above all else, Nick, it's important that you age beautifully.
That's right.
Because if you don't do that, what do you have?
What worth?
What a family and like ideals and things. Just age beautifully like me. Be an empty, vapid 68-year-old.
I love it. My number 51, Old Beautiful Mike, is a game that we actually just this week, upon filming this, just finished the campaign for, and that is Near and Far.
Righteous. Now,
this is kind of an interesting entry, because this is 51, so this is like the last one before the top 50.
Yeah.
This is like right there. And it's interesting, because my guess is, because we talked about this right, we finished the campaign, we played the entire campaign on stream, it was awesome, we had a blast. Super fun, super great game, kind of a sequel to Above and Below. But it's interesting to me because we kind of talked afterwards. And we're like, do we ever think we're going to play this game again? And we were both kind of like, I don't think so. Just because we played through the campaign, it was a great experience. We had so much fun. But we're both kind of like, I don't know if we're ever going to play it again. Like, we think we're kind of done with the game. So it's probably going to, like, after this year, move down / go off my list, which is interesting. But nonetheless, it's a great game, and you can keep playing it. We're both just kind of like, I think we've kind of done what we wanted to do,
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we got like maybe 15 plays.
Yeah, which is great.
Ultimately, you're like, well, that's a good life for a game.
But yeah, it's a great game. It takes the story element of Above and Below and makes it like a cohesive story. And there's a bunch of each game is a different map. You have a whole book of maps, so it's very, very cool. And the stories make sense to where you are. You see on the little map. Little temple, so you're like, you go in there and you're like, you approach this big stone temple, and this one guy's like, hey, and then and it's just like, what's up? You guys want some peanuts? And so it's really, really great, and it's a wonderful, wonderful game, and I really like it a lot.
Yeah.
And going through the campaign was one of the better gaming experiences we've ever had. It was
awesome.
so much fun. It was an absolute blast.
It's really fun. We played it cooperative using the Amber Mines expansion, so we really played like all of it.
Yes,
we did all the things. And it was really cool. That's good, man.
Yeah, 51 is near and far.
Nice. My number 51 is like the ultimate gateway game, the definitive gateway game, the classic. They've made 1,001 versions of it, 1,001 expansions for it. It's totally language independent and awesome. It is Carcassonne.
It's
Carcassonne.
It's hard to beat.
Tile
Just
Lane,
OG?
OG.
Okay.
I still like it better than anything.
I do too.
Love Amazonas and stuff, but
we have Amazonas. Love it, but I like OG better. Yeah.
Don't need anything. I do personally like to play with like the river.
Yeah.
And outside that, I'm good. I'm good. Just because it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy and light. And it's just, a tile placing game. You flip over. There'll be several stacks on the table. You just flip one tile over, and it may have a road on it. It might have a piece of a city. It might have an abbey. It'll have farmland, certainly. And you just have to place it somewhere in the ever-growing board that makes sense.
Yeah.
So road just can't like pop out of nowhere in the middle of a field. A city can't just have an abbey in the middle of it. It doesn't make sense, right? So you just have to make the landscape make sense, and that's all it is. And you can put meeples down to claim roads, claim cities, that you'll then score points if you complete that road and cap it off on both ends, or you complete a city so it has a border all around it. It's just like simple little things you can do to score points. You can do it while you chat. Anyone can play it at any time, and it's just light and breezy and beautiful, and like I just love it. Like it goes down so smooth and easy. I mean, that's why that game is so popular, why it's had so much success. It deserves it because it's the access is like 100%.
Yes.
Kids can play it, old folks can play it, people have never played a board game, people have played all the board games, everyone can play it. And I just love it for that reason. So Carcassonne, my number 51.
It's great. It's a great choice.
Tile laying simplicity, man.
All
Hard to beat.
That is going to be it, people. That is the end of the top half. Well, I guess the bottom half. Nice. I know, right? Dang! So that is 100 through 51, and now next list are in the top 50. This is the games getting. I know. This is the games getting good. This is when the games get real good. So please join us for our 50
Shouldn't smile too much because it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Boom. You don't want that. You don't want to look at you smile throughout your life.
Don't smile, but age beautifully.
Thank you all so much for being here. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel, just the Brothers Murph, wherever you go.
Search it right now and subscribe and follow, y'all. We really appreciate that.
Indeed. It really does help us out a lot. We put out all sorts of stuff, top 10s, all the time. It's great. We love it. We have a really, really wonderful, strong community, and it's great. And we love you all. Thank you so much for being here, and we're halfway done. Let's keep it rolling.
See you in the next one, folks.
Peace!